So Jim Nantz has announced his retirement from the Masters. Well, kind of, at least.
Well, I'm sorry to see him go. I mean, I'm really not looking forward to who's going to replace him. I mean, we only have a couple of Masters left, right?
So Jim Nantz has announced his. I'll just read his quote about when he will step down from the Masters. He said, "If all the stars aligned right now, it feels like a pretty good exit point. April 14th, 2036. That is my scheduled retirement date. It'd be a perfect place to walk out." That would obviously mean that's the 100th edition of the Masters. And I believe Jim Nantz's 51st Masters call.
Oh, I thought it'd be 50th.
I saw both. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. What now?
Or excuse me, it would be the 50th anniversary of his first time broadcasting at Augusta and the 100th Masters tournament. So I'm sure he was adding that up with his, on a piece of paper and figuring it out. However, Nantz, who was born in Charlotte, just a 2.5-hour drive from Augusta, did have a caveat to that. He said, "I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get to that year, and I'm going to say, maybe I could do this for a while longer." We have broadcasters over here that have gone well into their 80s, so that's one of those wait and sees, I guess. So he is leaving it open, but as of now, Jim Nantz is about to go on an 11-year retirement tour and retire from the Masters in 2036.
When do you think Augusta National starts giving them gifts and kind of
one gift per year?
Yeah, making the rounds here, over the next 11 years. Now, I didn't see where he said this. Did he say this in a podcast
interview with the Bunkered, which is
I'm assuming some sort of a golf podcast.
Bunkered.co.uk, some UK company, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love how every single golf brand, golf company, whatever you want to call it, everyone just took it and just ran with it as if it was, it's breaking news. Jim Nantz says he'd like his last Masters to be in 2036. I mean, that's interesting.
So he said, and again, I love how he just says, April 14th, 2036, that's my scheduled retirement date. He's already got it scheduled. Also, Nantz also revealed a special pilgrimage he undertakes ahead of the Masters each year. On Wednesday every year as the par 3 tournament's taking place, the big course is going through its final prep, he said. As the last players are finishing up their practice at 17 or 18 down at Amen Corner, I don't know, that's 17 or 18 isn't Amen Corner, but there are a few folks that are still kind of mingling about and taking pictures, he said. I go off to the side, park a golf cart down there, and duck under the ropes. Thankfully, I've got a credential that allows me to do that. I walk down to the creek, fronting the green, walk across the bridge, and I allow myself a quiet moment of reflection.
Jeez. I mean, the guy is almost as dramatic in real life as he is on the broadcast.
He said, it's a spiritual thing more than anything. It's a moment of prayer and introspection, and I just give thanks for the gift of being here. I've never taken it for granted that I have a chance to do exactly what I wanted to do as a young boy, so it's a moment of thanks and gratitude and prayer. And then, when the time is right and I've said everything in my head that I want to say, I walk across the Nelson Bridge and head on back. I've done that every year. Someone's got to get footage of this. So basically it's, God, and we had Wednesday tickets, but obviously we gave them to a member of our community. So basically, yeah, every Wednesday, the par 3, so think about this, the par 3 is going on the other side of the property, which is where the main attention's at. The players who aren't playing in the par 3, because not everyone plays in the par 3,
right,
are practicing. So what he's saying is when the players are finishing up, when everyone's off the course, or if they're on 17 or 18, he goes down to Amen Corner on a cart. And there's a few folks that are still kind of mingling, whatever. But who's there? Can someone be there when Jim Nantz pulls up on his cart and walks across that bridge and kneels or sits down or whatever he does?
I bet he's begging for somebody to be there now and get footage of this so that we can put it out there for the world to see.
It reminds me of the Ty situation.
Yeah.
When it was always... So Jim Nantz always does these, as he describes it, and to his credit, he doesn't publicize it, but then he does after the fact. He does these little quiet moments of, I just want to give someone my tie at the NCAA tournament to show my appreciation for their play. And then what's great though is that the second the media finds out about it, especially the bar stools of the world, the second they find out about it, now it's like they're interviewing about it. They're who'd you give your tie to? I guarantee someone's going to try to get this footage this year.
Oh, I guarantee it. Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and he'll play it up and make it a huge thing. Look, I love Jim Nantz. I think he's a phenomenal broadcaster. His inflection, his timing, the way that he says everything, especially in dramatic moments. I mean, he's very
great.
good,
I
right?
love him. Yeah.
We'll miss him
As
when
good as it gets.
when he retires in 11 years.
I love Jim
and
Nantz.
walks away. Same. Now, the other side of it is there clearly is just a massive ego issue going on with Jim Nantz. I mean,
is it a problem though? I've heard he's a very nice guy.
Maybe he is.
I've met him once briefly.
Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe you're right. It just seems like there is just something else there. Like I would love to shake his hand, chat with him for a few minutes, love to meet him, get a picture, all of that. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I've only met him once at the Rocket.
If I'm one of those players that, wins the NCAA tournament and Jim Nantz gifts me his tie, like what are you even supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Well,
remember, who was it the one year? Was it Archie Diacono? Someone was wearing it in the that's how it started.
There was something around
was it
that
Villanova?
time when
Someone
Villanova
from
won, yeah.
Who
right.
I forget who there was a white
Ryan
kid.
Archidiakono,
Was
I think.
that
Yeah.
who it was?
Yeah, I think
he
so.
was
or something like that. Yeah.
He was wearing in the locker room. He had the tie wrapped around his neck. Yeah, he had the cut net wrapped around his neck, and then his tie wrapped around his neck, and then that's how people found out about it. And then some of the media members went and interviewed him about it on the court, and he was explaining the tie symbolizes a lot to me, and this and that, whatever. And again, I'm all for having the cool little things you do. Right. But yeah, can't you totally picture Jim Nantz? Just him on his golf cart driving down to Amen Corner, walking across the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
I can totally picture that. And,
For sure.
And I wonder what he does. I wonder if does he walk on the green? Does he sit somewhere? Is there a chair he brings and just kind of closes his eyes? I wonder.
A moment of zen. Yeah, I don't know. I also think too, when he does that, and now that it's publicized that he does that, I guarantee he's always been secretly hoping that there's someone there ready to film him. Like, I mean, how do you not think that at this point?
I think Nantz does a great job.
He does. He does.
Yes, he's dramatic, but he paints the picture, and he's a total pro, and he seems to have respect in class. And
oh yeah.
I think he does a good job of elevating and making events just big. Mm-hmm. When he's calling a game, it's a big event.
It's a credit to everything that he's built and everything that he's done, all the big moments, the big games, the big-time players, everything that he's covered. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
I mean, he's unbelievable. I've read his book before. I mean, I'm a big Jim Nantz fan. There's no doubt about that.
And he was at DAC earlier this year. I know our friend Tony Michaels, who knows him very well, did an interview with him. Mm-hmm. At DAC, and Tony's talked a lot about Jim. When we were at the auto show, I told Tony how good of a job he did, and he was saying how even he's amazed. Even Tony, who's a friend of his, is amazed at his stories, and I'm sure he has great stories. But Jim Nantz seems to be a guy that appreciates moments, and I appreciate moments and experiences. I think Nantz appreciates the gestures, the moments, the experiences, and knows how to paint that picture and tell it. When Tiger Woods was in the booth at, I guess it was Torrey Pines because it wasn't at Riv because of the fires, you saw on camera Jim Nantz afterwards handed him a card, clearly for his mother who just passed away, and it's he has class, and there's some stuff I think he sure maybe he wants to kind of put out there and get out there about what he does, but there's other stuff like where I don't think that's the case. If he's handing Tiger a card because he genuinely means that, regardless if there's cameras there,
I think he likes that.
I'm not gonna. You're not gonna hear me criticize him because I think that he does a great job. I really do. There's a lot of broadcasters who I don't think do a good job.
Oh, for sure.
And who are a little too dramatic or too not even dramatic, too ego. They're way too. It's about me. I'm gonna over talk, and I don't think Nantz does that. I think Nantz knows how to pause, knows how to tee up his color commentator, and knows when to shut up. Knows when Tiger Woods is walking off the Masters after he won it again in 2019. You know what? No one needs to say anything. It can be there's no words. It's a return. What was it? A return to glory. And then shut up. Let Tiger walk off. Hug Charlie. Hug Glenn Greenspan. Hug
our guy
everybody.
Glenn. Yeah.
So I think he does a great job. And you talk about the retirement tour and the gestures. I'll make a prediction. I'd be stunned if one day he's not a member at Augusta. I think they will for sure give him some sort of honorary membership or
I wonder if he is already.
I don't think he's to my knowledge. No.
Well, you can't say it if you are, right?
Right.
If you're a member, you can't actually say it. So he wouldn't be able to.
Well, you'd know because he'd be wearing a green jacket. The members at Augusta wear
True.
green jackets when they walk around. Peyton Manning, Condoleezza Rice,
True.
Whatever.
Very true.
I'm sure he's played it, of course.
Oh,
but and he
times.
he played college golf at Houston.
Yep.
He played with Fred Couples.
Yep.
So
I've read his book. It actually is pretty interesting how it all worked out. And
you were a broadcast guy. I'm sure you took
Trust
some
me.
notes from him.
100%. That's what I wanted to be, and all of that. In a past life, I've used his name as a password. I mean, like I am a Jim Nantz fan. There's no doubt about that.
It doesn't sound like it on this
and
video.
No, it's just funny. Some of the things that he does that are a little eccentric, a little over the top. It's just funny. Really,
Yeah.
More so than anything.
Well, obviously, we'll look forward to the next 11 years, maybe more. But as of now, the planned retirement is 2036 from Augusta for Jim Nantz. So we only got 11 more. And
what if he retires in 2036, sits out 2037, and then a return to glory in 2038?
Well, he should still do something. Vern Lundquist, up until last year, was still broadcasting only on hole 16. He should. I'd love for Nantz to still have some sort of involvement. And yeah, the U.S. Open in Oakland Hills around here in 2034.
That's gonna be
I would
special.
hope that Fox has that right, but we'll see. But yeah, obviously, congratulations to Jim Nantz announcing his retirement in 11 years. And we'll look forward to having him, for just a little over a decade before.
Congrats, Jim.